Welcome to Sacred Magic. Violet is on a quest to bring sacredness back into our everyday experiences. Anyone can have an extraordinary life when they are able to tap into their sacred magic within. Violet and her guests will be sharing their divine passions, inspirations, and stories of connecting with their sacred magic. We are so happy you have joined us today. Let's get started with your host, the magical creator of Discover Your Spiritual Gifts, Vialet Rayne.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Sacred Magic Podcast. I'm your host, Vialet B Rayne, and my guest today is Gillian Edwards. She's a Colorado-based animal communicator, Karuna Reiki Master teacher, and a canine massage conditioning practitioner, internationally best-selling author, speaker, and instructor at the Rocky Mountain School of Animal Acupuncture and Massage. Gillian provides long-term, big-picture, holistic healing solutions for pets to activate their natural ability to balance, heal their physical, emotional, and mental well-being. With the belief that holistic therapy is centered on love, empath, respect, Gillian uses her knowledge and skills to help improve an animal's health and happiness, which can strengthen and deepen their connection to their human companions. So welcome to the show. I love having people that I know on this show. I think it's so special. I have been hanging out with Gillian for quite a while, so I love having people on this show. So thanks for taking the time today to be here.
Yeah, and thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm excited to share with your group how this all works. Yeah.
I love that. So what took you down this road of being interested in being an animal communicator? What was the journey that took you to check this out and to do this?
Well, it's really been like a lifelong journey because my family have lots of stories of me as a child with the animals. I mean, I would walk up to the water buffalo and say, "Hi, boys," and water buffalo wouldn't charge me or do anything like that. I've had king cobra stories, I've had ferret stories, but there's lots of childhood stories with myself and the animals. And then you get into school and then you get into work and it sort of goes into the deep background there. You try and navigate society and stuff. And I was in corporate America and I came across energy work again, and I'm like, this time I'm going to do it. So I went through and was attuned, and I mean it's not like it was a gift that was given to me, because in hindsight I know that I've always had it, but I was doing some Reiki on a human and I could start hearing this hello, 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 and I looked over and the dog in the corner is staring at me, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going crazy. So you go back, you Google it, and it's a thing. I found a teacher and I said, I think I can do this, but I don't really know what I'm doing. So I went through a lot of trainings and getting the certifications, because there's ethics and morals wrapped around, not that there's a HIPAA for animals, but it's sort of similar, just respectful, because you have to build the trust. And from there, it's just sort of practice. And it's been 20 something years now. More than 20 years. Yeah. And it's, I love it. I love educating, helping parents. It's giving them the empowerment to know what's happening, what's going on, and help them build stronger bonds with their animals. So yeah, that's kind of how it sort of fell in. But it was really interesting, because when I was being attuned to the Reiki, my girlfriend and I, we call each other the Reiki sisters, but she can see colors and auras and things like that, and I can hear. We both look at each other like, oh, I wish I could do that. But I'm very, very happy that I'm attuned to the animals and I can really get a sense of what they need and what they're going through.
I love that. I think it can be so helpful to be able to have a pet and really understand what they're trying to tell you, because I think we miss it so many times in our lives when we have pets. But I imagine going to the zoo with you would be really fun to hear what the animals think about being at the zoo. I'm sure some of them enjoy it, and probably some of them don't enjoy it. Do you find when you go to the zoo you learn so much as you walk through the zoo?
Yeah, I call it my creature comforts, right? As I'm asking them how they're doing and stuff. But yeah, it's not just the household pets. It's any animal. So yes, wildlife. I mean, I've been on a cruise ship and connected with the whale, and it's zoo animals, the wildlife. I remember a couple of summers ago, I was having some issues with the wasps around my patio, and I really didn't want them bothering my dog because she's going to chase them. So having a conversation with them to move their location. So it's not just cats and dogs and horses kind of thing, but yeah, it's any sentient being. I mean, you can also talk to the plants and the trees. And if I have to do any tree trimming, I'm always respectful to the tree and asking them to, this needs to be done for your health. Can you sort of withdraw your energy from these limbs? So it's any sentient being that you can connect with. I just choose to do mostly animals because I feel like there's plenty of mediums and stuff out there, but there's not many advocates for the animals. So that's my chosen path, and it's obviously a passion from my childhood too. So that's what I love to do, is help them and get a good footing in life, because they have a rough go of it too.
I'm curious, did the wasp move their nest?
They did, yes. I mean, it's when you work with animals, you can't focus on the negativity. It's kind of like kids, right? Don't do this. They don't really hear the negative words. So it's just a case of redirecting them to a better tree in the corner of the garden. It's like, you can stay in the garden. I know there's plenty of flowers and stuff for you, but I need you to be over there where my dog doesn't hang out, kind of thing. Right. So yeah, it's but as long as they know they're safe, and you put them in a good position, it's doable.
Yeah. I love that.
The squirrels are a challenge.
What is a challenge?
The squirrels.
Squirrels are a challenge. You know, my spirit animal next year is a squirrel, and somebody posted on Facebook the other day about how they're hungry in the winter. So I'm like, okay, so that's meant for me to try to feed them a little bit. But I can see squirrels being very frisky. They can be destructive too, I think, sometimes.
They are destructive, but they're super smart.
Super smart. Well, the squirrel is my spirit animal next year. It's my turn to kind of connect with them. So it'll be an interesting journey as we move through 2026 and where that takes me. So what is animal communication? If somebody listening, it might be connecting and they're just thinking they're a little crazy, because you even said in the beginning, am I really hearing that dog? What can you share with people that are either hearing those voices or people that want to be able to connect to animals? What would be some of the things that you would share with them?
So animals are trying to communicate with us all the time. So a lot of them, especially the domestic ones, have learned to do it through body language. But I would say always listen to your gut. Nobody ever said, oh, I wish I had listened to my gut, or ignored it. So when you got a funny feeling, or you think your animal's trying to say something, or they're trying to tell you or show you, they are. So I would definitely follow your gut, especially when it's your own animal, because you've got that bond already. I mean, it's especially on the, not to pick and choose, but on the female side, we have that sort of motherly instinct to a degree. So it's like, listen to that they are telling you something. And yay for Google, right? But you can always reach out to people like me. So if you need guidance, if you think you can do it. I mean, I do teach how to do it as well. I sort of dummied it down to like 10 easy steps. So once you get going, it's just like anything in life, right? Practice. But yeah, so how it works for me, because I'm a medical intuitor too, so it's all inclusive for me. So I'm not just necessarily hearing something, but I'll see images. If we're talking about allergies and foods and things like that, I will start tasting the food, so please, I hope it's not a sardine, but I'll start tasting food. You can smell stuff. I'll use my body as a proxy. So if my left hip hurts, their left hip is probably hurting, as well as dropping into their bodies and looking around and stuff like that. It sort of works with missing animals as well. You can see through their eyes to see what they can see, as well as asking them questions, and obviously a little bit of map divining as well. But it's very inclusive. And that's why I encourage, when I teach my students, really get comfortable with all your clairs, clairvoyance, clairessence, and so on, because you're using them all the time. And when I do my first introductions with animals, I get a sense then as to what their preference is, because just like humans, we have styles. So if they're giving me a lot of images, then when I'm communicating back with them, I'm sending them images as well. The only difference is when the animal has crossed over and is on the other side, they will communicate with me in my context, because obviously things are very different. There's different colors. There's also sort of things on the other side that we are incapable of comprehending. So they'll say, you know, oh, something's in the yellow spectrum or something like that. So it's not really yellow, but it comes up that way. So it's slightly different conversations with the animals that have transitioned. But yeah, it's fascinating. They have so much to say. And it's been a learning journey for me too, because it doesn't matter how you've been raised and what your beliefs are. If you come into it with curiosity and an open mind, they can really teach you about a lot of different things with their multidimensional personalities and characteristics and stuff. And especially if you're connecting on the other side too, it's a whole other world literally on the other side. So
I love that. I love that. So have you helped people find lost pets? Because you were saying you're looking through their eyes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the sad thing is animals can't read road signs, so it's a little tricky when they're missing. You can get, it depends on how big they are too. I mean, like for instance, if you're trying to find a cat, they're so much lower to the ground, so you can only see so much, you know. But yeah, it's a sense of, you know, are they in a car park? Are they on concrete? Are they in a wood building? You know, that kind of stuff. Are they in the woods? So yeah, it's sort of like, you know, 100 questions, you know, trying to find out where they are. You know, and it's tricky. A lot of it depends on the time, because by the time somebody reaches out to an animal communicator, we're days into this, you know. So it gets harder and harder the longer it goes, because it's, you know, their world is shrinking. They may be injured, you know. So there's tricks to it, but yeah, it's.
I love that.
It's tough. Mm-hmm.
I love that for the lost pets. You also talked about pets on the other side. Mm-hmm. So you're able to connect people with pets that they've lost that are on the other side.
Yeah, so everything's energy. So it's just connecting into the same energy pattern. So when I work remotely, I use photographs, and I use that as sort of their IP address for their energy pattern. So you can think of it like Wi-Fi. I'm just like connecting in. And I use the photographs and names because you can imagine how many, and I mean this nicely, but golden retrievers called Buddy. I want to make sure I've got the right one. So when I'm connecting with the animal on the other side, it's the same process of looking for that Wi-Fi radio station, if you will, that correct tuning. And then the questions are slightly different because I'm reminding them I'm talking about this lifeline with these humans in case they've moved on or done some, or, you know, somewhere else or whatever. So I just talk about, we're talking about in my world now. But yeah, it's all energy. So it doesn't matter if they're wearing their meat suit, if you will, and they're physically here with us, or if they're somewhere else. It's the same soul spirit, if you will.
Well, I feel like I lost a pet of mine about 10 years ago, and he shows up for me, at least for me. He comes in every once in a while just to kind of check on me. Like I can feel his energy around me, or even I've had clients where the pet comes and lays with them of a night and they can feel it jump up on the bed, or they can feel the movement of that pet, just like they come and kind of connect in with us. I know that you and I have talked several times about animal communication. And, you know, the question is, you know, do they come around? Do they go? What happens when they go to the other side? Can they change into another life just like we can, right? When we go to the other side, we start our next adventure. Do they stay connected with us for a period of time?
Yes and no. I mean, it depends on how strong the connection is with your animal. If they're just popping in for the experience, you might not have that strong a connection. But if you have multiple past lives together, or this is your heart animal, as we like to call it, then yes, the odds are you've had past lives, you're going to have more future lives. I mean, for instance, with my girl, when she's passed on, she's now my main guide for when I do the communication. So she's still with me, teaching me from the other side now. But yeah, they often, I mean, they're usually worried about us, so they definitely hang around immediately afterwards. After that, they tend to pop in and out, as you've been experiencing with yours, which is a beautiful blessing. It's not Hollywood, unfortunately. They're not necessarily going to come reincarnating back to you, but they may send you your next animal, or they may, like with in Zena's case, she's a guide now. But yeah, when you're really close to them, you are indefinitely going to see them again when it's your time to cross over, kind of thing. But yeah, I've found with animals that have strong connections, they'll often show me past lives that they've had. The majority of them are still animals. Sometimes they'll come in as another humanoid, or, you know, maybe your child or spouse or something like that. But like us, they have contracts and agreements, and they have experiences. the ones I've been working with, some of them stay on the other side and do what, in parentheses, jobs, some of them decide to help somebody else and come back as another animal somewhere else in this universal system, that kind of stuff. So it depends, but yes, they do hear us when we talk about them or talk to them. So it's all the heart connection. So as long as you're keeping them alive in your heart, they are still around. And it's not like we're holding them back. It's very multidimensional, so they can be here, there, and everywhere and check on us.
I love that. I love that. You talked about some animals that we would have, some pets we've had many lifetimes with. So you've seen that before, where they keep connecting with each other through lifetimes.
Yeah, I mean, it's a connection that then it's an agreement. It's like we'll always have this experience, and if they're coming in mostly as animals, and obviously they've got shorter lifespans than we do, then they'll come in for a certain period where we need their support, things like that. So yeah, it just depends on what the agreement is between us. But they're souls and spirits like we are, so it works the same for them.
I love that. I love that. I love that. So what's the benefits of being an animal communicator? Like the things that are obvious, like understanding, because you talked about earlier really watching a pet's body language, because that's how they communicate with us. What are some of the things that they do that we could pay attention to that they don't like or that they like? What is the body language that we need to be watching for?
Yeah, with cats, they express themselves through their litter box. They're not using it, or they're missing it, or they're doing other things. So they're very highly emotional, and that's the best way that they can express themselves. So something's wrong when something's not as it should be with the litter box situation, or they're hiding, or things, they disappear for days, things like that. Dogs, same sort of thing. You watch for their ears, their tail. That's where they have their most expressions. Same sort of thing. Some people also say with their dog's eyes, they can tell if they think their dog is feeling sad or is in pain, things like that. So panting. The challenge with dogs is any one symptom could be 100 different reasons. So if they're panting, it could be because they're hot, could be because they're in pain, could be because they're excited.
Right.
So sometimes it's a little tricky with the dogs. But yeah, if their behavior is off in any way, then pay attention to that. Are they not feeling well? If they've got a stomach upset, that kind of stuff. Are they sad? Have they hurt themselves? And then obviously if anything's limping, then sure, there's actual physical injury there. But as with humans, everything sort of comes from the emotional biofield and sort of starts manifesting in the body. Or if you've had major changes in your household, people coming and going, with kids coming from college, going to college, grandparents moving in, or you've moved, things like that. It's very, very stressful. If you've lost another pet or it's transitioned over, the odds are that the remaining pet is mourning too. They go through grief like we do. So yeah, there's a lot of things happening all the time. So I wouldn't freak out if there's a minor little behavior change, but if it's a consistent change over days. When we get into the medical side of things, if they're not eating, that's a worry for, they need to get checked out and things like that. So
I love that. Thanks for those insights. What I'm going to do, Gillian, is I'm going to put your website at the bottom throughout the videos, but if somebody wanted to work with you, share with us a little bit of some of the things that you offer.
Yes, on the communication side, yes, a lot of people are asking me about health questions, behavior questions, and then obviously the end of life decisions, because we're always concerned, is it too soon, is it too late, are they in pain, those types of questions. And then yes, if they've transitioned, there's no timeline on it because time is a man-made thing. So like for instance, you mentioned your beloved one's gone about 10 years, mine's gone about 18 months now. So there's no time limit. It doesn't matter if it happened yesterday or 8, 10, 15 years ago. We can still connect with them. So most people want to make sure that they're not in pain, that they're okay, things like that. And and then us humans, we carry the guilt. So some people are looking for that last conversation for forgiveness and things. So yeah, it just depends on what's needed. But generally speaking, it's health, behavior and decision making end of life.
I love that. And you also mentioned earlier you teach animal communication if anybody's interested in that. So they can reach out for you for that as well. So thank you so much for being on here today. This has been a fun conversation.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And I'd like to offer all your viewers a 10% discount on any of my services. So if they go to the website and plug in DSG10, so Discover Your Spiritual Gifts 10%, they can have 10% off my services as a gift to your viewers.
I love that. I love that. Thanks so much for offering that. And thank you for taking the time to be on here. I know that most people have had experiences with pets here or there, and whatever those experiences, it's always nice to have someone that we can go to and kind of assist us if we don't understand what's going on or what's happening with our pet, so we can have a better relationship. So thank you for being on here today.
Yeah, thank you for asking. And yes, I'm here to help.
I love that. And for those listening, thank you for watching and listening. I hope that you will comment, like, or follow us on your favorite channels, whether that's watching the video or listening to the podcast. We love to have our viewers return and come back. I wish you a sacred and magical week, and I hope to see you soon.
Thank you for joining us. To find out more about Vialet, head over to discoveryourspiritualgifts.com. You can also send a personal message to Vialet through email, violet@discoveryourspiritualgifts.com. If you love the show, subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Spotify. Until next time, remember, we are meant to have abundant and joyful lives. We hope to see you soon at Discover Your Spiritual Gifts.